we started the day of reckoning, fam. Let's just evaluate the night.
Yes.
We're removed from everything that happened.
Yeah.
Significantly. And everything that played out, you gotta say, you know what?
No, it didn't play out exactly how he planned it.
No, it didn't play out how Deontay Wilder's team planned it.
Yeah.
But as far as the night goes for the promotions being a big night, I would say
score it
8.5 out of 10. I say high.
I don't like that. I don't like the 0.5s. So you got to commit.
8 then. 8. And where those two marks fall short is the fact that the matches were so mismatched. It was so lopsided.
Yeah.
It was one of the ones where you say, okay, cool. It's nice to see, the all-star football players. But then it's like, who they playing against? Why you got the real players playing against celebrities? Like, this isn't entertaining now. Once you get past the shining lights of the occasion, you go, he's going to beat him up badly. Mm-hmm. And that's what was happening throughout most of the evening.
Well, there was two fights that looked like 50-50s.
Yeah, the big Baby Miller and Dubois.
And the fight, how it ended, the last fight. Well, not the last fight.
Which one?
The Wilder fight is a 50-50. It wasn't a 50-50
yeah, but it wasn't supposed to be a 50-50.
It wasn't meant to be a 50-50. But all right, so we get into this. Let's. I'm gonna score it, and I'm gonna score it it's between 7 and 8 for me. And the reason why I say 7 is like it didn't. What they should have done is the atmosphere didn't feel.
That's the part.
The atmosphere was off. But then what's funny is what they did with the fanfare in the last one. It felt small. It felt like a lesser event than the Fury event. The Fury event just felt like a spectacle, and I get it. It was a spectacle because of what was happening, but it's like they took away all that fanfare and said just boxing.
No, but look at the rings.
They took away the frills.
Yeah, that's right. They did all the rings. They made it a show. Yeah. They had the rapping performance. They had the massive Hall of Fame. They've obviously paid all these celebs to come. Denzel and these men were there. They had the Hall of Fame that man had to walk through. They made it a real spectacle. Whereas this one, I reckon they spent so much money on getting all these fighters because they went for big names. Yeah. You got Wilder, Opataya, AJ, all these guys, all bat. Bivol, it's an expensive lineup.
It was an expensive lineup.
Every fighter in the equation was like, yeah, it's more I've been paid. I'm coming short notice to fight this killer. I don't care. I'm just coming there to get my bread. Yeah. That type of money that they're throwing out, they're probably looking at it thinking, maybe we don't need a big baby performance. Maybe we don't get the 2 rings. Maybe we don't pay every fighter to come and stand to the Hall of Fame thing. You see what I'm saying?
It just felt like less, though. It felt like less. You know, if you go to all-inclusive holiday and then you pull up there again, but then the restaurants are not open in the all-inclusive and
the alcohol is not. It's not name brand alcohol.
Yeah, like everything is like, wait, hold on, more by the time when I went here before, and where's the
you like Jack Daniels? You had Jack Daniels last time. What's this one? What's that then?
Yeah. And maybe again, so I set a crazy expectation in terms of the aesthetic, because that's a big part of boxing as well. When you go for the big nights, even when we think of the nights in Vegas, what's his name, Nicholson. He's always at, you know what I mean?
Denzel and them man there.
Yeah, they pull up. They pull up and you think, this is big. Even when I was at the last one.
Errol Spence and Crawford.
Yes, they're all there. You look and then put them on the big screen. And you're like, oh, sugar. And then they do that thing. They have that weird thing there. They have pretend they're having a conversation that they can't see.
Hilarious.
Or they might respond. They do. There's a whole load of things that they do. Yeah, I like that. That lets me know. All right, this is
a moment.
This is a big moment. So that wasn't there. And then obviously the in terms of the types of fights where there was 2 50-50s, it kind of was like, oh, okay. But then as a night, I'm gonna bump it up to 8 because AJ had the night in it. It was AJ's night. It was clear, and I think what it shined the light on is the fraudulence in the heavyweight division. And I loved it. I loved the fact that we finally got things answered, that we've been asking these questions for long. And I want to apologize. I have to apologize to AJ right now.
But AJ, wait, before we get to that, because we can get into that one properly next. Let's just focus on the night right now. Because a couple of things.
It's a time for an apology.
No, we can get to it.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, you've got to remember the other elements that were at play here. We had Frank and Eddie Hearn getting along, co-promoting. Standing side by side.
Doing a joint interview.
Actually talking to each other.
Yes.
I'm looking at this now and I'm thinking to myself, and you know what's funny? I saw a picture on Twitter of His Excellency standing with Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren, but he's holding Frank Warren's hand.
Yeah.
And I saw October Red tweet. She goes, "This is what it's like when I take pictures with my sons." And I was like, she's like, with my big sons. That is hilarious. Because the way he's holding his hand is like, you know, when something happens, there has my brush, and Frank just thought, oh yeah, why not? And it just looks crazy.
It's the maddest.
But I imagine it's taking him and however much money he's got to have these men now getting on
together.
And I look at it now and I think to myself, I'm glad for that. But the atmosphere at the fights, it's a mad trade-off for us to have to watch fights, and it's just like, where's Sweet Caroline?
Just little moments.
Yeah, just the little
moments that are important. Things that don't get twisted, because we have to relearn this new. This is the future. This is us now for the foreseeable.
Yeah.
So we have to understand what these are going to look like. I hope that there's thought into production. Because end of the day, if you're going to take the product, you have to take a lot of the product and you can't water it down. Right now, it's just like, while the fighters, this is the best it's been for fighters, but you have to think about the fan experience. And I think that's where, like, with World Cup, they got that. Remember the time when they said they got fake fans? They got the people that was there. And
snap!
Yeah. But listen, fake or not, it felt like the World Cup. It felt like something's happening here, and you need that fan. That is all a part. Boxing, it needs it. It needs it. It definitely needs it. We need to know the next fight is huge,
and I'd love to know how much money is like they're making. That's so different to an MGM Grand Night, for example.
It's not about the money for them, though, is it? It's about rebranding the country and how it looks on the world
I know,
stage.
but I'm just talking about in terms of for the fighters. Like, how different is it to the point where they're making so much more out there than they can make anywhere else? For these fights to not get made until now.
Well, boxing is changing it, because with everyone leaving the game and stuff, them Vegas nights are not the same as what they used to be. For the Americans, absolutely. But you're getting bivels going wherever they can for the bag. Like, they'll come to the UK. They're doing the road warrior stuff. Like, now they're traveling.
You know what? You're right.
So you think about how many great Vegas nights you're thinking about. It's not the Mayweather era where it's like, when we speak about these places, it's not the same. Boxing has moved.
Boxing's really moved from
especially
the States.
what AJ. We have to never forget. Yeah. Boxing really moved to the O2. It moved to the O2 for a long time.
It moved
then
to the
went
UK.
Stadiums. Then it went stadiums.
Yeah, that's right.
But it was O2 heavy. Then we got too big for the O2. It went to like Wembley, different stadiums and stuff. So it hasn't really been. And then the guys that come in, because remember they started saying the payday was the UK with AJ.
Yeah, that's right.
So then the only person that you know is going to get the money in Vegas,
Canelo. That's right. You know, boxing really has started to pivot from the States.
Not this, yeah, exactly. And then now, look at Jarrell. Like, all those people that came to the table, well, they went straight to Saudi.
And you know what's mad is watching Deontay Wilder, right? Because obviously the whole PBC situation there is falling apart over there. It's not looking good. And you start to see that things are different. Like, I don't want to give too much strength to conspiracies, right? And we can pivot from this after this point. But I don't want to give too much strength to conspiracies. But we start to see that PBC guys, they step away from that cloud of protection. And it's like, it's a beating waiting to happen. Like, the Errol Spence thing was like the first time I'd heard that kind of narrative. And I'm like, well, that's not fair. Like, Errol Spence is cold, but Terence Crawford is a beast. And I've always rated Terence. But CM Parker...
But they were blocking it. Remember, they were blocking it heavy.
But CM Parker just casually win every single round against Wilder. I'm like...
Who else? What about the Charlo brothers? Were they...
Whoa, this one... Yeah, I mean... Yeah, that thing against Canelo was a absolute... bad. It was awful to watch. But also, you look and go, have you been food this whole time?
Who are we talking about right now?
Wilder, fam.
Are we here? No, so I just want to clear up. Let's just quickly close this. Let's quickly close Day
of Reckoning.
Day of Reckoning. Day of Reckoning was good for boxing. They do need to work on the fan experience. I'm going to score it 8. You're scoring it 8 as well.
Yeah.
Let us know in the chat what you're scoring at home. Get involved. Please let us know, like, in the comment section what you scored it. And do you think that, how do they make it better, really? But we have to understand, this is our boxing for now. For the foreseeable, while this is the P's where everyone can get their money and no one's angry and complaining, this is where boxing's going. So yeah, let's move, man.
Let's do another one.
Undefeated, you're always gonna go. You been
Yo, people, thanks for watching the Undefeated podcast. Make sure you
like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and all that good stuff, man. This is the place to be.